Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rival Recap Show. You know the drill. We're talking Gentlemen's Club football all day, all the time, guys. And for the first time in weeks, I can actually report a win for myself, guys. That is rare through 6 weeks of this year, and it feels good to end a 4-game losing streak. And without further ado, we're gonna get right into my matchup, guys. And I played Lynch. I played Lynch in fantasy football and fantasy prem. A few members are crossed over between both leagues, and we tied in prem. So thank God I'm not reporting a tie here. But I took Lynch 124.5 to 110.9. I think all my guys had a pretty decent week. I think through 1 week, the trade's looking good. Clyde put up 20.9. I mean, he had 161 rushing yards, guys. I mean, was it a rainy night? Was the Bills running the ball the whole game as well? Yes, but hey, I don't think a 161-yard rusher who's a rookie, who's only gotten better, is a backup, guys. I think Le'Veon's got a nice niche there because Clyde is not a catch-and-run kind of guy, and Lev is, and I'm just excited to see how that works out. Let me tell you, you guys might think I'm idiots, but I'm probably going to hold both of them. So, everyone else on my team looking pretty all right. Zach Ertz goes down with the injury. That sucks. He's probably out 3 to 4 weeks. Scholar's probably right, getting rid of him. Jonnu on the other side of that trade also got hurt. Don't think his injury is as bad. He might only miss a week, but it's just kind of funny that both the tight ends get fucking hurt. But anyway, Clyde and Terry did well for me. They got me the win this week. Nothing going on my bench. Lynch, other side, you also made a big trade this week. In return, you got Hollywood Brown, pretty average receiver. Tanyan, we don't know. He had that one excellent game, but we don't know what's he's doing. I mean, they just Packers just kind of look like shit. I wouldn't read too far into that. And then Darrell Henderson, he didn't even start. But hey, I don't know. I don't know if that was the trade to make, but let me tell you, after trying to trade McCaffrey, there's not a lot out there. A lot of thin teams, a lot of people not willing to give up a lot. So hey, Kevin Lamb was definitely one of those guys on the prowl. You made your deal, and you're going to have to live with it like I will. So you know what? 2-4 Lynch. I'm also 2-4. Who knows? We might be in the toilet bowl. Anyway, next matchup, guys. We got Ian versus Tony, guys, and this was 138 to 74. Ian with the top score of the week after being the bottom score of the week last week, guys. Is what's good with Ian's team, guys? Is he the definition of hit or miss? Is he we don't know. I mean, he had his Lions back this week, and he loves his Lions because they were all on bye last week, and he dropped 64 points. He has DeAndre Swift, he has TJ Hawkinson, and he has freaking Adrian Peterson on his bench, guys. I mean, maybe Jones is the Lannister Lions or something, guys, because I don't know. I mean, when we used to talk about Thrones, we would say Jones was Robin Aaron. Maybe Jones is a Lannister at heart, guys. Maybe he's like Lancel Lannister, right? I think I could see Jones being Lancel Lannister, right? He's probably like, oh. But anyway, as I'm looking at this, guys, NFL.com finished their recap. They never finished their recap before I get to it, and they lead off by saying that Jones was led by the triumvirate of Lamar, Kenyon Drake, and DeAndre Swift. Now, I had to look up what the fuck triumvirate means. Apparently, it was used in ancient Rome, and it means 3 powerful men. So Jones has got 3 powerful men. He's the triumvirates, guys. I mean, that's a word that just really caught me off guard. I mean, it's like, it reminded me of the time when my grandma commented on a Facebook photo of me and 4 girls and wrote, "Are you at a harem?" I don't know if you guys know what a harem is, but it's like a Middle Eastern whorehouse or something like that. And just, I don't know, triumvirate really just threw my mind through a loop. Anyway, guys, Jones, the triumvirate of the Lions. Hey, he's got 3 Lions too, but I'm getting out of hand here, guys. Jones took an excellent win. Good for Jones. His running backs were playing great. Lamar obviously was great after an off week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And Tony on theirs had 74 sucks. Tony said he should be shot for his team. I mean, that's a little excessive, but your running backs look horrendous. But Mostert got hurt again, so McKinnon's going to be back to being the number 1. That's a mess out there in San Francisco. Hopkins didn't do much for you last night. Mark Andrews is going to be on bye next week. And also, guys, I said this in the group chat. Nobody acknowledged it. Tony's misusing the COVID spot. He's got Alan Lazard, who has, like, broken ribs in his IR spot. By rule, Ian is supposed to actually drop Alan Lazard from Tony's roster. See what Legal and Ian decide on this. It didn't make a big deal. And honestly, I'd be okay if Tony just has to drop somebody. It doesn't have to be Lazard, but I don't think he can keep that going forward. I just don't think he knows the rule. He probably wasn't fucking listening. So yeah, if we could get a move on that, we're going into the next matchup, guys. We got Joe versus Kevin. These are two two of the powerhouse teams of the league, in my opinion, 127 to 118. Joe takes a very nice win there. Joe Mixon left the game, but after reading into it, it kind of looked like it wasn't bad at all, and they were just kind of feeling Gio Bernard at the time. So that should be all right. Even with Josh Jacobs on bye, Joe still puts up a nice week because you know what? Joe has a really fucking nice team, guys. He's definitely one of the best looking in the league. He's got 3 great receivers. He's got George Kittle throwing up 24 points. Steelers defense, guys, that hurt when I watched Sedano drop Steelers defense for the Jets out of need a few weeks ago, and Joe just comes in and scoops up one of the best defenses in the league. They absolutely shit on the Browns. Absolutely shit on the Browns. Other side of the ball, Kevin Lamb, 118, pretty good week. Julio looked awesome. So, I mean, I think that man's playing to get traded. So that might just be, all in all, awesome for you if that happens. And you'll have Michael Thomas next week. So, I mean, Kevin Lamb's team's looking a lot like some championship teams of years past when Weston won with Julio, Michael Thomas, and George Kittle, I believe, and then Charlie won the year after with Michael Thomas and Kelsey. It's like Kevin Lamb's got some little formula cooked up. He's looking at past years. I don't know, but he's got a nice team. Kareem Hunt only was 7.7 this week. That's got to hurt, but I think that's just because they played the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, 118 is not bad, especially I think that was like probably 6th or 7th leading point scorer this week. It was a pretty low week overall, guys, I got to say. Wasn't anything crazy, but Joe takes a nice win, moves into 2nd place. We're going on to the next matchup, guys, and we got Sklar, the Adam Gase's rejects, off their first win as the Adam Gase's rejects first week against this team. Reeks Christian dropping a stinker, 88 points. You hate to see it. It wasn't the injury bug. It was just an off week. Darren Waller's on bye. He picks up Gronk, who is actually his leading scorer this week after Gronk hasn't done much fantasy-wise, so that's got to feel pretty good. But everything else, like Singletary, nothing. Zeke had 2 fumbles. Tyreek Hill didn't do anything. I mean, that Chiefs-Bills game was just kind of shitty for the passing game all around, so it's hard to judge based off that. But, yeah, 118 to 88. Sklar, nice win. Brandon Cooks with 21 points. Chase Claypool, that waiver, with 18 points. I mean, you'll have You'll have McCaffrey in a few weeks and DK Metcalf off bye. Hopefully John's injury's not that bad, Sklar, and you're sitting in first place with quite a strong team. Next matchup. I'd hate to see Adam Gase's rejects on the fucking trophy, though. Let me tell you. I hope I didn't create that because that would haunt me forever. Next matchup, guys. The New York Jets versus the Darnold Palmers. And Eric gets his first win, guys. He's sitting at 1-5. He puts up 116. Charlie puts up 111. Joe touches on this later, but Charlie was one of the people that shit on Eric the most, I guess is the best way to put it. It didn't matter. Charlie gets 40 points out of Derrick Henry. It does not matter. 116 to 111. A lot of average coming out of Charlie's team other than Derrick Henry. I mean, T.Y. is just not viable. 2.1. A.J. Green on your bench looked good. The Bengals' offense looks pretty good, even though they're just terrible. But so that might be something going forward. But yeah, I mean, Eric, 21 points out of Trey Burton, 26 points out of Ronald Jones. I mean, that's really it. Everyone else is pretty average. But hey, nice win. It's got to feel good not to be. You didn't want to go defeated, right? That would have been a fucking story. Let me tell you, you would have been the focus of next year's draft video for that. But anyway, guys, next matchup, 127 to 101. Sedano takes down Ortiz. Ortiz, after a lot of hot weeks, finally cools off with a 100-point performance. Granted, Kamara, Keenan Allen on bye, but I mean, Browns defense, Ortiz. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. You dropped the Eagles defense against the Steelers last week, and I was smart. And then you picked up the Browns defense against the Steelers this week. Why? I told you that at 12:50, and you almost changed it, but you decided to go with your gut and stick with it. I understand. 1 point. That sucks. But that's not the reason why you lost. Let's be real. Johnny had a great week. Justin Jefferson, 39.6. That is just unstoppable. Christian Kirk with 22 and Kyler Murray with 28.9 on Monday Night Football to secure Sedano the win. Guys, I got to say, I think Sedano's team's looking pretty good, especially if he's able to hold out with Austin Eckler. I mean, in an ideal world, McCaffrey doesn't play until Eckler comes back, so that Mike Davis holds value, but who knows with that. Gesicki getting you 0. I don't know what was... I couldn't even watch that Jets-Dolphins game. I knew it was a fucking disaster. I saw Fitzpatrick hit his other tight end a few times, so I don't know if Gesicki wasn't playing, but Johnny's got some good wide receivers on his bench. I think things are looking up. He's sitting at 3-2-1. Ortiz at 3-3. And we're going on to the next matchup, guys. And we have No, not Ortiz. Weston versus Rast, guys, and it was 107-98. This is another one that came down to Monday night. Weston needed 20 points out of Josh Allen, and CeeDee Lamb gets 28. Takes a nice win by a little over 8 points. And, yeah, he was texting me a lot yesterday. He was pretty nervous about it. But I didn't think there was really reason to be. But, hey, 107's not even that great, but it's a win. 98's not great, especially when your quarterback's throwing up 31 and the rest of your team's a bit of trash. Ras, what's going on? Your running backs are a joke. Royce Freeman and J.K. Dobbins. I mean, 8.9 points. I don't even think my running backs put up that little. But, hey, 107-98, or Weston with a nice win slides into 4th place at 4-2. Ras falling down to 10th at 3-3, guys. That's all for the matchups this week. Joe's got some stuff to say to you guys. It's not a lot from Joe this week, I will say. He was disappointed in our response, myself included. I did not respond. Apparently a bunch of you guys didn't either. We'll try and pick that up next week because Joe puts in the work. He comes up with these questions, and it literally, he's right, it takes fucking 5 minutes to respond. So hopefully we'll all do better. I got some stats at the end I wanted to run by everybody. I got a little extra video. You know how we used to send it over to Brian, the reporter? Well, we're sending it over to Brian at the end of this video. And one last thing I wanted to touch on, because I thought it was crazy. Jones put up 64 points last week, and I was like, wow, what was the worst point total in Gentlemen's Club history, guys? Especially since, guys, Joe's thing's short, so I want to give you a little extra here. 64.5 is not the worst in Gentlemen's Club history. It's actually only I think it was the 5th worst or something like that. But the worst was the Julius Caesars of none other than owner Ian Jones 2 years ago. Put up 58 points in a week. I mean, that is bad. That is really bad. The second least was actually pretty, I was surprised. It was Hot College Dudes. Can you believe we let Christian name his team Hot College Dudes? I think this is when I was still iffy on Christian, and he turned out to be as huge of a fag as I expected, but hey, I love the guy. But hey, Hot College Dudes put up 60 points in year 1, and I looked at it, and it was the weekend of Rally, and Christian started 2 guys who were not playing. So maybe Rally had something to do with it. Maybe there was some Denica action going on. I don't know, but hey, with that, we're going to send it to Joe. And we'll have a little bit of safe space, and we'll send it right back to Brian, guys. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, welcome back to Safe Space. We got the matches. We got this candle that I swear to God is on its last fucking life. Sorry for the cursing. Kid show. But we're doing something different this week. You're asking why, Joe? Why? Safe Space been good this year. You haven't been talking about your team the whole time. We've gotten people involved. Why are we doing something different? The reason why is because half of you earmuffs fuckheads did not respond to the poll this week. I know what you're thinking. You go, I'm in a bad mood because my little team lost. I don't know that feeling in the last 3 weeks. I can't think of anything to send to Joe. Joe's a creative genius. He could put a show together. He's the Lorne Michaels of fantasy football segments. He doesn't need me. Listen, you're important. Your vote matters. This is my ballot, my presidential election ballot. Every vote matters, including yours. So please, guys, submit to Safe Space. So what are we going to do instead? We are going to divide the people in the league that responded to Safe Space this week and the people in the league that didn't respond to Safe Space, and very simply going to say nice things about the people that responded to Safe Space and say not so nice things about the people that didn't respond. Weird episode, but let's see how it works. All right, I just wrote down the people that responded. So let's do this live. We'll start off with nice things of you caring friends that took the time, the 5 minutes to respond to me this week. Michael Weston. Michael, I saw Eden's Instagram this weekend. I thought you looked very handsome. Michael's girlfriend. Ian Jones, the commish. Ian, I thought your team was fucking dead last week. I tried to trade you Cole Beasley for Lamar Jackson this week, but you're fucking back. DeAndre Swift's legit, man, and Kenny Drake had a great game. So congrats, Ian. You're peaking. Johnny, similar to Michael. I saw Tor put up a picture of you on Instagram. You look very handsome. Spencer, I think you're in first place now, so congrats for that. And you definitely won that Christian McCaffrey trade by trading a backup for him. So you are looking very good for the future. James Ortiz. James, I've been giving you shit all year for not trading any of your running backs, but Sanders is down for a couple weeks, so that just helped you out. So it's smart managing by you. Don't listen to me. And lastly, John Rass. John Rass responded this week. He's always a quick response. Nice thing to say about John. John, you always keep your chin up in this league, and I respect that. And you're a great member, the 15th member of the league, and we're happy to have you because Pavic sucks. All right, we're moving to the people that think they're better than the league. They can't put in 5 minutes for league content a week. You can text me, I'm sorry, tomorrow when you hear this. I forgive and forget. I'm a Christian. Kevin Lamb. I beat you this week, Kevin. Kevin Sheep. Kevin, this isn't really a mean thing that I'm saying, but why do you make fucking 15 ad drops every week? Like, you can't fucking make up your mind on Wednesdays like we all do. He drops his kicker and defense to have 7 fucking people on his bench and then does it Sunday morning. Over managing. Lynch, you fucking, that trade was awful. I don't know if the Green Bay Packers Sunday night game was the first football game that you turned on this year, but you traded fucking Michael Thomas, one of the best players in the league, for pennies on the dollar. Maybe 1 penny on the dollar. Tanyan was a one-hit wonder. Henderson's a third. He's in a committee, and Hollywood Brown. Oh, I hate to see that kind of stuff. Marsh, you played yourself. I mean, death taxes. Marsh is just gonna be 7-6 every year. I have nothing else. He will play himself into 7-6 every year. It's fitting that he's like a Mets fan, a Jets fan, one of those fans that just is destined for mediocrity. Christian, your team sucks now. So 2 straight losses. Sorry, bud. You had your time in the shine, but it's over. Charlie, what do I have to say about Charlie? Your team, I mean, you had 40 points from Derrick Henry and still lost, and you lost to fucking Eric. Yeah, safe space reveal. Eric, Charlie's been shitting on you all year for the fucking worst team thing, and you just beat him. So I think that de facto makes you the worst team, Charlie. Tony. Okay, so Tony was the one that suggested the submit your video about your one player and didn't even fucking submit this week. Come on, bro. And Eric, I never have anything nice to say to you, so Godspeed. But yeah, I mean, guys, I was fucked with work tonight anyway, and don't really have time to film something, so sorry for a half-ass episode. Sorry for your half-ass submissions. Sorry for the people that did submit and I didn't put it together. But hopefully we'll have time for a better show next week. Have a great week, fellas. I love you.
Here we have some strength of schedule data from Big Data Mike Weston coming out of the woodwork, giving us some good stats. I mean, he felt he's had a tough road. As you can see, his name at the top as the hardest strength of schedule thus far. So he wanted to put this together and see what was going on. And what he did is he took your average score, everyone's average score, and then added it up your 5 opponents, and here you have it. So apparently the 5 people Mike's played, their averages totaled to 653.4, so on and so forth. Guys like Charlie and Ortiz, and who's that, Rass down there also had some pretty easy go to start, and I think they're all sitting at 3-3. And then Eric and I 2nd and 3rd, and we were 13th and 14th going into week 6. So we both picked up a win, but hey, pretty good stuff from Mike. I like to see it. And